Hi everyone, welcome to How to AI. This is our third set. We have one of my favorite techies of all time, Vikas, with us on the set. I've known Vikas from his early days, I think, when he was interning in one of the companies I knew, to now he being a platform engineer for the same company. So, Vikas, welcome to the set. Would love for you to give the audience a quick intro about you and what your current role is.
Sure, sure. So, hi everyone, this is Vikas. I'm currently working in an Insurtech company as a tech lead, and I've been working here for almost 5 or 6 years now. Right. So, I started my journey with a standard intern, and then kind of made my way to software SD2, and now platform and tech lead. So, we do a lot of R&D research work, and AI being one of the initial things. I think we started very early in our company as well with a lot of amazing colleagues, and we've been working on doing solutions around insurance and so many other things, with technology. I love tech. Kuch bhi milta hai, I'll just go and try it out and see how it works. So that's how I've been into this. I mean, as a AI or machine learning, I've been doing it since my college. So I've done all those traditional machine learning models, approaches, and all this, this era of LLMs and all is very exciting. And yeah, looking forward to share some of my knowledge with you guys. And let's see.
Cool. So, Vikas, what we do in this set is we'd ask you to kind of share use cases that
Yeah,
people can maybe learn from and implement in their day-to-day life. So let's kind of
right.
start with that. Which is the first use case you would want to kind of share with, and is it on the back end side, front end side, what side of tech as well?
Sure, sure. So, see, today I want to kind of explain or deep dive in basics, right? So, people have been using agents a lot of agents in the market, Claude Code, ChatGPT, you just name it. Some of the other things are there, right?
Yeah.
Today I want to go a little bit in depth and understand, try to make you understand how things work in the first place, right? What are those small units which has made agents what agents are today? And I want to kind of do this as a story lane. I'll just show you some of this workflows and understanding how things work, and we'll see how that works. Okay. I just want to present my screen if that is okay.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Let's.
So I like this whiteboarding and all, right? So I'll start with there, and then we'll just kind of see how the same thing works in coding also, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so what I want to currently explain is for us to understand how this agents, how this workflow came into the system, right? Today you go and ask so many questions to your ChatGPT model and other things, right? What is the weather? What is the time? And so many other things. So there's something called
Yeah.
workflow. I want to talk about workflow, and I want to talk about agents, right? What is workflow? In all our day-to-day activity, whatever we do, either be a software QA tester or in HR department, right? We do some of the other things as a sequence, right? You do task
Yeah.
one, and then once the task one is successful, you jump to task two, and if task two is not successful, you jump to task three. So similarly, there are lots of smaller tasks which you do, right? This is a kind of a workflow, which was the basic or the heart of going to the agents, right? So what happens? You want to do let's say you want to have a task one. Task one can be something, let's say you have a topic, and based on the topic you want to write a summary of the topic, right? The summary can be, I'll give you a topic, let's say weather in Manali, right? And can you use
Sure.
LLM to get a summary out of that, like how a weather looks in Manali, how does it look in December, and things like that. And task two can be like, once I've got this data from, let's say, LLM telling how this weather looks, can I convert into a poem, right? Or can I convert a rap song out of it, right? So you connect these layers, you connect the output of one task to another, and finally get a final output, right? So you put something in, this in is nothing but a topic, and that topic goes inside one of your LLM models or this task, it outputs into second task, and it gives you an output back, right? So this kind of thing is called chaining. Like chaining is nothing but a straightforward chain, right? You connect one, second, third, and this is kind of a sequential chain where you have one task, second, third, fourth. Now, this was the initial idea of how things started to come in the workflow direction, right? A different type of chaining can also be something called routing, where based on my input, there can be some task you want to do depending on what input you are asking, right? Let's say if you are in a e-commerce or let's say an Amazon kind of a thing, right? Amazon, uh, this thing, you have so many things in Amazon. You have flight bookings, you have shopping, right? But when you ask or search in an Amazon browser, you don't search differently, right? You just search at one place and then actions happens automatically.
Yeah.
It's called routing,
Yeah.
where based on your input, your workflow decides should I go to task one or should I go to task two, right? This kind of things keep happening in a production ready or where the things are very deterministic. People or company creates this workflow. This is also called graph in the
Ah.
first place, right? You can tell A to B, B to C, C to D, and that becomes a proper workflow. How and why is important in context of AI? Because this task or something which can be anything. It's basically any function, right? It existed before AI era also, and it will exist for
Yeah.
forever. What AI
Yeah.
made easy was the 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 gravity of this task, right? What it can do. So I just want to show some examples, keeping this in mind, right? How this is happening. I'll just show one example, then we'll talk about some use cases around certain domains, so that people can think how this is getting used in actual action, right? So let's open up
Yeah.
this Jupyter notebook. I have written some of this code so that I don't have to write it again. Again, all of this is generated by AI. That's the beauty. So
So, because like Jupyter, you're using the paid version or the free version?
no, so this is Google Colab. Google Colab has this free version where you can just it's like a SaaS version, right? You can open up and use it. It's a free version. I've not
Got
paid anything for it. It does have a lot of add-ons if you want to have consume more GPU, TPU, but that's very optional. So you don't have to worry about it
it.
for
Okay.
basic stuff. Right. So I've just set up some dependencies. I'm going to show you a tool called LangChain. It's a very popular tool before this agents, MCP, and all started. Right. This was a tool which was famous across the industry, and I'm going to show LangChain how you can do this and what's the beauty of whatever this task or the workflow which I'm explaining. Right. So currently, I've installed some of this dependency packages and all, and I'm going to use Gemini's model to basically run through this thing, right? You can have any model. The beauty of LangChain is it is a wrapper around the main functions, right? And in the background, you can connect any LLM. It does not. That's the
Got
beauty
it.
of this tool. So in my example, I have one Gemini and one Anthropic key, but I'll just use a Gemini key and move forward for now, right? And in this part of the code, you can see I'm initializing a model where I'm using Gemini's 2.5 Flash. You can also define what kind of model you
Okay.
want to use in this tool. Okay, so we are using 2.5 Flash for now. Now, just remember about this task or the chain which I was talking about, right? We are going to create this first chain called as research chain. Okay, so what this does, we tell or give a prompt to this chain telling that you are a helpful assistant. Provide a concise, factual summary about a topic. Now, this topic is a variable. You can give any topic, whatever you want, right? And this becomes a prompt to your particular task that you are a helpful agent. Give a summary about this topic. Now, these all are syntaxes. I know this can be a little bit intimidating, but these are some of the syntaxes. We'll just go with the flow and we'll understand how this works. Uh, all I'm doing is telling that this prompt should use this LLM, Google Gemini 2.5 Flash Row, and should give me the output. That's the chain I
Could
have
we
created, right?
also ask it to use multiple LLMs in same shot?
We can do that. I'll show you how that works, but we can do that, right? So just keep that thought in mind. So this chain is linked to one LLM. If I come down to here, what we are basically creating research prompt, right? So this is our task research prompt, and it's using Gemini as an LLM. Now this box is only for this particular model, right? If you go next, and this is just a function where I can just tell a topic. Let's say I've talked about Messi. This is nothing but putting a prompt, going to LLM, and then giving out the output, right? And it
Yeah.
will just tell a factual summary about Messi is an Argentinian professional footballer and all that things, right? Now I have second chain, which is a elaborative prompt, which is giving a short rap. For example, if it's a mentioning, right, we can maybe create a poem out of this. So let's say it's a poem task. It's a poet, right? Now here, again, the same chain applies. I'm giving you a prompt, it's passing to an LLM, and I'm giving the standard output. Now, this LLM, as you were asking, Krishna, it can be LLM Anthropic also, right? Or OpenAI. What you have to do, you have to come back, and this part of the code where I was using LLM Gemini, I can very well use LLM OpenAI, right? And I'll pass some of this OpenAI model name, and that becomes your next LLM, right? So that prompt or that particular task may use OpenAI. For now, I do not have API credentials for that, so we'll stick to Gemini
Yeah,
for
yeah.
an instance.
Let's stick to Gemini.
But this
Yeah.
is how it works. Right? You can each of these
Yeah.
boxes or these planes can create or can work with any LLMs,
Got it.
irrespectively.
Hmm.
So let's say we create this, and here we are just asking a question that enjoying winters in Manali is one hell of an experience, and let's see how it gives a short poem out of this, right? It calls this, it understands what the prompt is, and see, it gives you some poem out of it. Manali is
Hmm.
winter,
Yeah.
icy gray,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
Now, now, what we need to do, can we combine this both? Can we combine the research task or a research
Hmm.
chain, the poet
Hmm.
chain, and an output, right? That's the
So
sequence I'm
let's try.
talking about.
Yeah.
And look, we call it a sequential chain. All you need to
Huh.
do is create this layer of chain. It is like
Hmm.
passing the chains. We have called the
Hmm.
chain for the research chain. The second one is
Hmm.
elaborative chain. It could be
Hmm.
any name. And you just create this chain, right? And this variable is overall chain. Now
Hmm.
you come down and you give any topic, whatever you want.
Hmm.
And I will
Yeah.
invoke this chain. So if I
Yeah.
invoke this chain, you see how this works. APIs are sometimes slow, but let's see. Okay, great. So the topic was winter in Manali. It gave a
Hmm.
summary that winter in Manali is characterized by cold temperature and all. And the final
Yeah.
output is Manali's winter and all these things, right?
Hmm.
So this is
Got
how you
it.
connect the two layers. Let's say you wanted to simply go and change instead of a poem, you wanted a rap out of it, right? All you need to do
Hmm.
is change the task to again create a chain and just run that. Okay, tell me winter in Manali.
Yeah.
How can you give a rap out of this, right?
Yeah. So if say I was a content creator, I could easily use this, right? I maybe wanted to kind of do content creation around Manali. So first
Correct.
I would kind of just give encyclopedia around Manali, and then I
Yes.
would ask it to kind of give me 10 areas where I can, cover, go visit, shoot, etc.
True. True. True.
Fair.
All of that things is what you can connect in these chains,
Yeah.
right? The same
Got it.
example, right? We can just go and change here that give me as a content, right? As a content
Huh.
writer, give me details where to visit for this or around this. So yeah, okay. We already defined the summary. So think this as the certain task, right? As a content writer, or I very well want to say this for our developers who are in this space, right? Can you create
Hmm.
your day-to-day task? Can you make this as a workflow, right? Can you
Yeah.
there's a Jira task updation which everyone hates, right? Can you write this automation and it will go and automate automatically, right? It can search
Yeah.
through your file, see what you have done, and ultimately
Yeah.
update Jira,
Yeah.
right? Or if you're
One thing I think which all techies hate, including yourself, because I remember this very well, is attendance marking, right?
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
can very well create it. They can create this task for marking attendance in the system as well, right?
That's true. They can do
Yeah.
that, right? They can
Yeah.
do all of so basically connecting whatever you want in whatever
Yeah.
fashion you want, right?
Yeah.
Now see, it gave you where all you can visit, Solang Valley, Old Manali, based on that data, right? So that's how cool it is. Now this is not limited to it. This was an example of how people understand this, but at the end of the day, how I was talking about, it's a workflow. For your end
Yeah.
production, it will not be as simple as creating just two tasks, right? It can be A,
Yeah.
then B, then C, and then D.
Yeah. Multi-connected.
It can be multi-connector, right? And there are two kind of workflows which everyone in the industry kind of envisage, right? One is a standard workflow ABC, and second is
Hmm.
undetermined, right? Where I don't know should I go from here to there, there to here, but I
Yeah.
want a final output, right?
Yeah.
Now, having understood this, the concept of agents has come in the picture.
Yeah.
Now, what if I told you that, hey, you don't have to connect these dots, but you just need
Hmm.
to tell the units. what you do or what your application does. For example, if you are in a e-commerce this thing, right? You have a task which search products, right? Or you have a task which does payment. You have a task which creates order, right? Now there's no defined workflow, right? What if I want to create a system which does not have any defined format, but I want that agent or that smartness to automatically connect through this loop and give me the final output? That is what agents are. Agents
Okay.
connects things in a loop where you don't have to define the loop per se, but it will
Hmm.
define it by themselves. And it works on a concept called React, where
Hmm.
it understands, see the output of one LLM, put it in the second, then see if it has got to the final output or not. If not, it will again find and see if I can have some other function to run for that for
Yeah.
me and all, right? So those are the reactive or the agentic loop. You might have heard this a lot, maybe this agentic loop, where this loop
Yeah.
and all is happening, right? So this is where agent has come into the picture. I'll just want to show an example first before we, understand how this really, really works.
Hmm.
So the base and heart of agents are tools. Okay. So all you need to do is create this unit tools, whatever you want in your system, and this agents will go and connect, right? So here I have taken a tool called LLM Math. This is an
Hmm.
inbuilt tool from this LangChain community, where this does nothing but calculates mathematical equations for you, right? The traditional LLM models, they do not have any computation, right? If you ask 2 to the power of 100, the model does not go and calculate 2 to the power of 100, right? That's not how LLM works. LLM works on next
Yeah.
token basis. It just understands what is the next closest token and it returns you that data back. It does not have any computation in itself. But still, if you
Hmm.
go and ask ChatGPT or other things about some calculation, it gives you the
Hmm.
output. How?
Yeah.
Because we have these tools inside
Hmm.
it, right? Does the work for you. So here I'm just
Hmm.
creating this called LLM Math tool, okay? And I create an agent. This agent, you have to pass two major things. One is what tools does this agent have? These tools are
Hmm.
the function from which it can choose and
Yeah.
the model which it uses, right? Again, you can give
Hmm.
any model you want. And let's say having defined this, I'm asking a question, calculate 2 plus 3. And let's see how it returns. Sorry. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So see the answer is 6.
Hmm.
We'd use this tool and gave you the output as
Hmm.
this particular data, right? Now, how do you know it used it? We can also use this thing called debug equal to true, where it will show how it has been navigating to these tools to get the final
Hmm.
answer, right?
Hmm.
So just look at the format, right? It a human asked some question, it created a
Hmm.
request to the AI. The
Hmm.
AI told that, dude, this is a tool kind of a message. I have to use a tool. It
Hmm.
also has
Hmm.
tool, the name of the tool, calculator. Again, it
Hmm.
passes the value of that tool back to the
Hmm.
AI, LLM, which
Hmm.
understands, okay, the answer is 6 and ultimately gives this final answer as 6. The calculator
Hmm.
did not give you the answer is 6. The calculator just gave you
Yeah.
6. And the value
Yeah.
again went to LLM and it told, okay, now I think this is the final state. I can
Yeah.
return that this data, right?
Yeah.
So these are tools. Now you can create multiple tools. For example, again, LLM does not know time, current time, right? It's built on this lot of data, and this data are nothing but the historical data for this internet, right? They do not have this function of time. So what we can
Hmm.
do and create our custom tools. This is the heart and I would say the wow factor of these agents. These tools are nothing but functions. So
Hmm.
here I've created a function called current time, right? This does
Hmm.
nothing but give the current time, and you have to tell that how this tool work. Like you have to define or you have to describe about the tool. So what happens when you ask any question, you pass all this tool's information to LLM along with the description. LLM understands, okay, for this kind of question I can call tool A, for this kind of question I can call tool B, and it can start that agentic loop, A to B to C to A to D, whatever, right? So here I've just created one tool, custom tool, right? Just to show the capability of these tools called current time. And here I've just written the current time, right? This is a function in Python. It will just return the date time. Also, I have replaced the previous LLM calculator with a defined calculator, right? This is my custom defined calculator where I'm
Hmm.
actually writing my expression and evaluating it, right? Now, all I need to do is create an agent, pass the tools. Now, here I have two tools now. One is current time and one is calculator. Having created this agent, now think this as a single interface, right? This agent is nothing but, just imagine you are sitting in front of a chatbot, right? You're asking this. So you're asking to this particular agent. Okay, I think I was playing around with some content here, but let's see. I'll ask what is the current time, and let's see what is the answer. Yeah, so it tells the current time as 11:57. I think it's using GMT's time period, so it's 5.5 hours back. But it used this particular tool to give you the answer. And again, if you want to see how it is working, you can just tell debug equal to true, and you'll see that it passed this tool message, and it tells that I have to use this current time as a tool. It passed the final answer as a current time is this, and returned you back this data. Here, if I had to ask a calculation, 2 plus 3, it would now go to this calculator, right? This calculator tool. So I did not tell the agent which tool to you have to use, but ultimately say the answer is 5. So it internally went around and saw what is
Yeah. Yeah.
the tool you have to use, right?
Yeah.
Use one more example. I just want to show one more example which I was playing around earlier also. Let's say you create a joke, right? This function returns nothing but returns a joke as per required, right? Let's say this is a function, and here instead of a function like this, I want to use an LLM instead, right? I want LLM itself to generate a joke for me. I'll just copy some of this thing from my previous thing, right? Okay, so let's change this to a joke prompt, right?
Hmm.
And we'll tell that you have to tell a joke about this topic, and this topic is nothing but the input parameter, which is this query, right?
Hmm.
You can pass this
Hmm.
query, and you can now customize it. Or you can tell you have to tell a joke about this topic in Sidhu Paji style, let's say, right? Let's see how
Okay.
that works out. And again, you can create a joke chain, pass this joke prompt, pass the same LLM, whatever we have defined earlier, and now this created a tool for you, right? All you need to do is pass this tool inside your list of tools, right? Now the agent knows that, okay, I also have this joke as one of my tool. Wait, we have to return this back, and you return this out, right? Now you can ask, uh, give me a joke about current time. So what is the idea? The idea is first should know what is the current time. So it can go and invoke the current time function. Then based on that, it will return the or pass the value to this joke
Yeah.
function, joke
Yeah.
tool, which will return back
So
the
multiple
joke.
loops kind of run in and will now give you the final answer.
Now give you the final answer. So let's see. Okay. Okay, my bad. So we did not call this invoke function. So I think we have to just
Hmm.
call this invoke here. So this should actually come as a part of your chain, and this is nothing
Hmm.
but the function which we have talked about. So Jacob also. Okay, let's see now. Okay. That's the problem of writing code on the globe. Okay, I think there's some issue.
Not a problem, but like people have understood the
But
flow, right?
yeah,
Like,
we understand how this
yeah,
works. This whole concept
yeah,
works.
yeah. Cool.
So yeah, having said that, this is where the whole heart of this whole agentic loops come into the picture,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Now think about a scenario, Krishna. Let's say you are in HR, right, and you have to take a lot of interviews, as you were also talking to me earlier, and you might have
yeah,
seen about this automated AI interview machine, right,
yeah,
where they just
yeah,
take your interviews. So
yeah,
just do this exercise and think what all tools are they using. So they may
yeah.
have some tools, let's say a listener tool, which is listening to
Mm,
what you're saying, right?
yeah,
There can be a tool which is question bank, which will ask you the
yeah,
questions which needs to be asked to the interviewer. There can be a mapping
yeah.
tool which will map that question and answer together and map it together, right? And then there can be
Mm,
validation, or let's say a reporting tool, right, which will
mm,
validate how that answer, whatever you're given, and give you the final report. So based on this,
mm.
so many tools, this AI interviewing tools have been created, or these agents have been
Yeah,
created, right, which goes
yeah,
through these tools, and at the end of the day gives you the final result.
yeah, yeah.
And the same can be used in so many other things. If you think about anything, let's say Claude Code, which does agentic coding for you, what are the tools
Mm,
there? The tools can be reading system commands, or writing into a file, or reading a file, right? Or executing test cases, or knowing about multiple languages. So the beauty is all of this big companies have created this agentic loop with all this exhaustive list of tools, which ultimately, talks with each other and gives you the final output in this chain, right? When you run a lot of this thing, you also see task A, task B, task C, task D. This is nothing but this iteration of this tool, which ultimately gives you the final output. So this is how the
got it.
basics and whole agentic thing started in the first place in
Yeah.
industry.
So, like, say, even a chat GPT or let's say, like, a Gemini is doing this at 10x, 1000x scale at its backend, right? It's calling devices, it's calling tasks.
Correct. Correct.
It will, in short, have programs inside which it is calling each time you're asking for some data.
Correct, correct. That's how these things are moving. Yeah, and the whole. Okay, somehow it gave this thing or did not give me the response. क्या बात है गुरु तो हमेशा तैयार रहते हैं. There was some problem with giving the final output, but yeah, I mean, what I want people to think about when they hear about this topic is how
Hmm.
they can use these tools in their day-to-day life, right?
Yeah.
Can create some applications. I mean, a lot of noise today is happening on coding, agentic coding, but very
Hmm.
less people are actually building some applications out of it, right?
Hmm.
Can we build some application keeping all of these factors in mind? Can we
Hmm.
think of doing something, some automation in your workspace which will make your life easier, right? Or can you build something which helps humanity with all these loops,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all of these things will be coming from this basic, uh,
Hmm.
and uh, and yeah, these are the
Makes
heart of it.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
I also want to talk about one more thing. Having said all of these things, you can see how you're creating these tools here and how I have to write a lot of codes, right? There's
Hmm.
also a tool called MCP. It was released, I think, November last year.
Hmm.
This MCP is nothing but Model Context Protocol, where
Hmm.
they have created an abstract layer for these tools, right? Where
Hmm.
you can define as many tools as you want, and this Model Context Protocol is like a protocol which connects all of these tools together, runs the
Hmm.
agentic loop, and gives
Yeah.
you the final output. So
Yeah.
if someone wants to really create an application, they can explore this MCP tool where it's much more scale and much more production ready,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
kind of which is available for everyone.
Make sense? I think
Yeah.
this first part helps a lot, right? Like a lot of people are today using agents without even realizing, right? If you can create your own with your own specifications, it kind of makes your day to day easy.
So much, exactly. I think when I started and gave this introduction to initial people, I got so many requirements. Someone asking, "Can I create a personal assistant for myself?" Right?
Yeah. I think that's
Uh,
the most common, right? At least in the corporate world.
Exactly, it's so common, right? So common. When people
Yeah.
think about AI, people who are so busy and mostly in managerial position, they're like, "Can I create an agent?" Right? Who will just do calendars meeting, calendars invites, and even reply to your emails, right? You can train all these models which will reply in your own context, the way you write, the way your language are, right?
Yeah.
And all
I
the
think
tools.
most of us are using that at least, right? Like the email reply part and the calendar part.
Correct, correct, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saves like a ton of time for more people out here. Um,
Correct.
So, Vikas, thanks for kind of doing this. And for the audience, if you all have more use cases that maybe you all want to tap into, why don't you all kind of leave it in the comment? We'll try and see if we can, get somebody on the set and who can show you like a live demo of what Vikas did or something similar. Once again, Vikas, thank you so much for doing this. I'm sure this helps people, right? You've gone extremely basic and just shown it from like, say, step zero from where you start and build. So I think makes
Correct.
sense. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Krishna.